Today, I finally get to talk about Godzilla on DVD. Hey, this is a big day for me. Just let me have this, alright? Yeah, I love giant monster movies, always have, always will. And I think a lot of that has to do with this. Godzilla, the original animated series, Hanna Barbera. This is volume 1. So in other words, this is the first 4 episodes of the original Godzilla animated cartoon from 1978, 79. I used to watch this all the time when I was a kid, and I absolutely loved this show. It's a cartoon. It's got giant monsters in it. It's set up like kind of like Scooby-Doo. It's a entertaining fare for a 8-year-old kid like me. Or I mean, when I was 8 years old. But I still like it now, so I guess this is my inner 8-year-old here. Yeah, the Hanna Barbera Godzilla I thought was awesome. It's one of the first things that I really latched on to do with Godzilla. I had seen maybe a little bit of a couple of the movies on late night TV or after Saturday afternoon matinee or whatever. There was also this little orange Godzilla book that I used to see in my school library all the time, and that I absolutely loved, and that plus this cartoon really turned me on to Godzilla and kind of formed my fandom. Godzilla was one of the first things that I was really, really into. It's because of this cartoon. Now it is Hanna Barbera. It's late 70s. It kind of follows that sort of Scooby-Doo template where we have to have the gang. And they have, of course, their gimmick, which their gimmick in this one is Godzilla. They have access to this giant monster that fights battles for them and stuff and saves the world. You get, the sea captain, Captain Majors. Then you get Aunt Quinn. She's a doctor or scientist of some sort. And her nephew, Pete. And their kind of like research assistant, or intern or whatever. His name is Brock. So you get those 4 characters, and of course in this not only do you get Godzilla, but you get Godzuki. Yeah, Godzuki is supposed to be like Godzilla's nephew or something like that, because they use the whole nephew-niece thing in cartoons because nobody wants to think about cartoon characters having sex, so that's a more recent thing, I suppose. So yeah, it's Godzilla's nephew or something, or at least he's a member of the same species. But for some reason, Godzuki has like little flaps under his arms that he can like fly, and he has like little wings. Yeah, he's just kind of there. He's like the Scooby-Doo of the gang, but he doesn't talk. He just like... Now Godzilla in this, of course, like Godzilla was basically being rented out from Toho at the time, but they changed a lot of stuff about Godzilla and what he actually is and what he can do, well, especially in his abilities. Because first of all, he doesn't have radioactive breath. I don't think they in terms of Godzilla, I don't think they really talk too much about him being a radioactive monster. Instead of radiation breath, he has fire breath. Which is okay, fine, yeah, okay, whatever. It achieves the same purpose, right? So he's a fire-breathing giant lizard thing. Doesn't speak, of course, but he also doesn't have the iconic Godzilla roar, the really high-pitched, I'm not even going to try and do it. Yeah, but you know what I mean, Godzilla's roar, right? No, and here, yeah, it's just some guy going, rawr, rawr, rawr. He doesn't really look the same either as he does in the movies, where he has that kind of wrinkly, irradiated skin. It looks really weird, but he's still a reptile. But he has these plates on his back, just like in the movies. But his skin is really a different shade of green, and he's specifically green in this, whereas Godzilla really wasn't green in a lot of other Godzilla movies. But they made him green in this, and he looks like a dinosaur that walks on his hind legs, and he's got really big legs in this for some reason. So he looks different. And he does different stuff. He's also got, at least in a few episodes here, he's got laser beam eyes. I'm guessing it's like a Superman thing. I don't know if they wrote it into the script just to, for one story or something like that, but they did use it a bunch of times. So Godzilla has fire breath and laser beam eyes. And so the concept of the show is basically the people on the ship, the Calico, the SS Calico, they travel around in the ship and they go exploring, and hey, we're going to do some scientific research out here in the Sargasso Sea, or at this extinct volcano, or whatever. They travel around in the boat and they go to all these different places. And for some reason, they have like this established rapport with Godzilla. And they have this system, like, I don't even know exactly what it's supposed to be, but Captain Majors on his belt has this little button that he just presses the button and he's like, and then sends out the signals. Godzilla rises from the ocean and comes to help them with whatever problem, which is always a giant monster. So Godzilla comes and fights this giant monster for them, and they cheer him on, and they use their scientific know-how to somehow help Godzilla defeat this monster, or to at least discover what's going on. And by the end of it, the monstrous threat is always dealt with and sent away or defeated in some way or another. And it's fun. I always thought it was a fun show, mainly because of that whole giant monster thing, because I've always found that awesome. First episode is the Firebird, which is basically like a giant, like Rodan-like pterodactyl thing. Yeah, and he's comes out of an extinct volcano, very much like in Godzilla King of the Monsters. He's not called Rodan, no, he's the Firebird. But he's like a big pterodactyl thing, and he fights Godzilla. They go inside this like volcano, this active volcano at one point, through these lava tubes, and miraculously without getting burned alive. I mean, because you gotta have some adventure, right? Second episode on here, one of my favorites actually is called The Earth Eater, and it takes place in San Francisco. So of course you get your Golden Gate Bridge in there, and you get a opening kind of sequence where Godzilla saves a bunch of people on the Golden Gate Bridge, because of course Godzilla's a good guy here and he doesn't destroy things, or if he does, it's for a really good purpose. So when they get to San Francisco, they find that all the buildings are like starting to crumble, and they're being actually destroyed from underneath. Something is tunneling under San Francisco and eating the buildings from underneath. And it's kind of, I don't know, I thought it was kind of a cool concept. So of course Godzilla has to show up and fight this monster. Anyway, it's a good episode. It's kind of dumb, but hey. The third one on here is called Attack of the Stone Creatures. Stone creatures are like these, I guess they're supposed to be like Sphinx or whatever, but they're just like these giant lion statues that they find in the desert, because of course they're in Egypt for whatever reason doing like this research that they're doing. I want to know what kind of Black Ops research that Captain Majors and Aunt Quinn are doing all around the world, that they can go to anywhere and they have free access to like everything to study anything. Anyway, there's these two like giant statues that come to life, and they actually have like freezing breath, which is really weird for desert creatures. But it's kind of an interesting one because it's like two creatures against Godzilla, and there's only a few other cartoons in this whole series that actually are like that. Last episode on here is called The Megavolt Monster. Now this one I thought was pretty cool because it's like a electrically based creature, like it has like the power of like an electric eel or whatever, but it's like this giant blue lizard-like thing that attacks Godzilla and the ship. And yeah, I thought the whole like underwater thing was kind of neat. They have to go into this like pocket of air at the bottom of the ocean, under the bottom of the ocean. So I don't know, I thought that was kind of neat. Now, to put a letter grade on Godzilla Hanna Barbera animated series, I'm actually going to give it an A+, because I remember this so vividly. Every couple of years or so I watched this on DVD, because I got it back in 2000s. One thing I really like about it is, like, I get my Godzilla Kaiju Giant Monster fix, and it comes at you like way quicker than in any of the movies. It's maybe not the same experience as watching, like, say, something like Godzilla vs. Megalon or Godzilla vs. The Thing or whatever. But yeah, it's made for kids, and I think it works for kids. Godzilla fans have to see this. You might not appreciate Godzilla the animated series, the original Godzilla animated series, as much as I do, but give it a shot. I mean, it's notable, it's Godzilla, and it's part of Godzilla's history, and it's a fun part of it too. So yeah, A+. I'm not going to go into detail, I'm not going to critique every single bit of this show. My mission here is just to let you know that this is out there. Yeah, of course you can get it on DVD, because I have it on DVD. But you could probably watch it on YouTube. You could probably watch it, I don't know, maybe some streaming services have this, but I don't think so. So until next time, have a good one, everybody.